So once again, dear colleagues, present online and offline, thanks a lot for giving me this possibility to talk to you today. We are presenting the paper, the topic you see on screen. I'm not going to repeat it. Two persons will make a presentation, Professor Bабкин and Professor Elena Škarupeta from Voronezh Technical University. By way of information, I wanted to tell you that on screen you could probably also see that this topic related to the development of cyber systems as part of Industry 5.0 were started under the grants of Russian Research Fund. But I wanted to say that these are the studies which did not appear only yesterday when we started working under the grant. There were some other grants for this research, and myself and Elena Vitalyevna have been working already for some time on these topics, and I wanted to invite my colleagues to collaborate with us. And I say that the topic of today's conference, digital transformation, has attracted specialists working in this area, and we can see that these are interdisciplinary specialists who work in technical areas, in engineering and economics, in the area of digital development. This is a big group of research topics, and also by way of introduction, I wanted to say that the topic of the conference related to digital transformation and the transition from Industry 4.0 to Industry 5.0 tells us that we have been actively, I mean practitioners and theoreticians, actively move forward. I wanted to give you an example of this way on the basis of a polytechnical university. Already for many years we've been organizing conferences, and over the last 5 years we specialize on organizing conference, digital economy and Industry 5.0. I can give you an example that is part of those conferences by way of exchange. Over the past 2 years, we had discussions about the nature of digitalization and what is digital transformation, what is primary, what is secondary, and many other issues. I wanted to tell you that in the area of digitalization and development of digital technologies in economy, the development is quite rapid. So this was by way of introduction. And now we'll present our materials in this way. The first part of our presentation, the general theoretical part, what is cyber-physical social ecosystem at present as part of Industry 5.0, what is its nature, what are the specific features, and later on Elena will share the results of our studies, which already moved from conceptual approaches to the plane of practical presentation of methodologies, implementation methodology. This will be the part. Dear colleagues, you have only 15 minutes for both of you. Bear this in mind. So, dear colleagues, in this slide, which you can see, we may mention the development of digital economy. We can see it, we can feel it physically. And at the same time, I must say that we can mention the development, first of all, of artificial intelligence. And if you look at the right-hand side of this slide, if you look at some functional areas, we can see that these are, first of all, virtual reality, augmented reality, this is cybersecurity, industrial automatization, industrial IoT. That is the area where in the greater degree artificial intelligence is being developed. In the lower part of the slide, is the projection for the development projections for AI implementation in economy. And first of all, we may say that this development is AI 35 and over percent, augmented reality, and computer engineering, 35 and 11% respectively. Also, a few words. In this slide, you can see very briefly the main factors which tell us what digitalization of the company contribute to their development at the level of national economy. Here we can see, first of all, in the lower part of this slide, mostly digitalization is developing actively. We can see it, first of all, in healthcare. COVID also contributed to it, education and state management. Very interesting results are presented in the right-hand side. This is the unit weight of companies and organizations that use digital technologies most actively. First are the digital platforms that develop actively the use of cloud technologies and databases, the use of robotics, and the industrial internet. As a preliminary summary, we may say that both in industry and economy, there is an active development of implementation of economy, digital transformation, and so on. Importance. In the left-hand side of the slide, you can see that according to the surveys of real-life industrial companies that implement digital technologies and are involved in digital transformation, the survey was performed by Technical University. We found out what is the important in percentage. First of all, digital design that ranks first, left hand top square, 46%, digital platforms, digital twins, artificial intelligence, and conventionally talking, what we already know and what we discussed many times, and the economic effect, right-hand side of this slide, which was evaluated by the experts. Is the reduction of time for design and time for production, reduction of cost, transparency of business processes, and customization. Again, the same areas which are related with the implementation of digital technologies and digital transformation of the companies. Problems which were already mentioned by the specialists in digitalization, digital transformation are first of all software, left hand side of this slide, limitations, restrictions, which restricted the access to certain types of software were mentioned by 83%, integration of the developed software, which today is actively developed in our country and what already existed in the country, integration with the already existing software. And right-hand side are the barriers. So we have split them into several functional areas. Traditionally, the area of investment. Second, management. Sometimes the specialists mention as one of specific features that the management of the companies is very unwilling to start those transformations. We have to bear that in mind. Competent various training of specialists, young personnel, evolutionary continuum of industry from 1.0 to 5.0. It was discussed many times. And here, once again, in a very small script in the right-hand side, is the evolution of cyber systems, physical cyber system, cyber social, and physical social systems. Very briefly, I can tell you, once again, repeat what already was mentioned by other speakers, is the orientation towards the social aspect and interaction between humans and machines, and interaction not only of the simplest level, just push the button and machine will start work, but collaboration on the level of exchange of intellectual knowledge and decision making. Industry 5.0, three main parts, cyber, physical, and social value. Key definitions, it follows from what I already mentioned, and here we present several of them. I'll skip them. The next slide, key technologies. Key technologies are, first of all, again, which was mentioned already, collaborative robots, probably cobots. This word is not used that often. In addition to blockchain, AI, and IoT, collaborative robots represent the next step forward. That's collaboration and integration of the robots themselves, which perform diverse functions and multiple functions. They together may process certain information, collaborate with humans, get a feedback, and it's very complicated cyber-physical intellectual system. Distinctive features were mentioned in right-hand side. I show you. Let us move forward. And as a main object, these are the features which we described. It started as industry 1, 2, 3, which were physical systems. Cyber physical appeared as part of industry 4.0, approximately 2012, and transition to cyber physical social is present stage. Move forward, please. The directions of research, very briefly, in Polytechnical University, together with Voronezh University and a number of other specialists, we're working on it. I'll also mention Baltic Federal University, with which we worked actively for several years. Intellectual cyber social ecosystem is presented on the left-hand side of the slide in a rather complicated figure. On the basis of this approach, we may demonstrate, and we do demonstrate, at least on the basis of the Baltic Federal University, we have developed a situational center that uses this cyber-physical ecosystem. This is one of the examples. Now let us move forward, and one of the examples of intellectual spaces based on those aspects and principles which we described. Dear colleagues, main publications very briefly are presented in this slide from the category of Q1 and Q2. We worked a lot to make those publications possible, and we are open to collaboration. So I wind up my part of the presentation and I give the floor to Elena Škarupeta, professor of Voronezh State University. 5 minutes. I'll try to be brief. Good morning, dear participants of the conference. Thank you. First of all, I wanted to make a focus on the systems which have a new convergent value and the most efficient even compared to system platforms. Hence, those unique qualities, new qualities of ecosystems, including industrial ecosystems, allow to view them as projecting forms for sustainable transition to Industry 5.0. An industrial ecosystem, following our definition, are complex system of economic actors working on the basis of a single digital platform with specific functions, the purpose of which is the creation on the basis of the principle of energy, the industrial services. And the object of Industry 5.0 is a multi-level cyber physical industrial ecosystem, including of the cluster time. And we have developed a concept of efficient ESG development under the conditions or strategic drift for transition to 5.0. The next methodological tool developed on the basis of this concept is the framework of efficient ESG development of industrial ecosystem. In this framework, I wanted to make an accent on digital thinking, because digital thinking based on strategic wiseness allows to transform the worldview on the issues of education, training, and Industry 5.0. One more methodological tool which was borrowed and now is being developed. It was borrowed from our Chinese colleagues, is convergence concept of digital industrialization and industrial digitalization in Industry 5.0 and Reichenson. We can see the evolution which started in 2017 when a Chinese Academy of IT has presented a framework of two orientations, digital economy, including digital industrialization and industrial digitalization. In 2019, this framework was developed on the basis of three orientations, where digital management was added. And in 2020, framework of four orientations was developed with the addition of digital values, which allows us to talk about its practical implementation as a condition for Industry 5.0. As our Chinese colleagues, Jin and Pan, have proved that industrialization and digitalization developed stably. In 2021, the scale was 8.4 trillion yuan, which is presented in the lower part of the slide. Going on, moving to the study and measurements of Industry 5.0, we believe that we may use the indicators, performance indicators for digital industrialization and industrial digitalization and convergence between them. And this convergence was measured on the basis of the method of coordinated development, and it may serve as a numerical indicator for Industry 5.0 on industrial or non-corporate methodology. We developed a methodology. It's not very complicated. We have reviewed modern studies of 2023, studies of our Chinese colleagues who also developed those performance indicators. If we compare the results, we may talk about, we may say that here the system presented on the left suggest a more branched approach with various indicators like digital infrastructure, digital environment, digital talent. But on the other hand, the system presented on right-hand side focuses on key indicators as income from software and telecom business, the index of digital financial inclusion. And this system seems to be more concentrated and aimed at measurement of economic effect and economic performance. We have developed our own proprietary methodology of the system of measurement of digital industrialization and industrial digitalization. It has 12 indicators, 9 measure digital industrialization, thanks to Rostat, which provided actual data as of the 6th of October 23. We used it, and we made this data set of actual values for all 19 performance indicators. In the process of normalization of those indicators and evaluation of mean arithmetic values, we obtained a summary indicator of convergence of digital industrialization and industrial digitalization in Russia, which may serve as a numerical expression of transition to Industry 5.0. We see that the summary indicators demonstrate a positive dynamic starting from 2010 and 2022, which points to strengthening of integration between digital industrialization and industrial digitalization for Industry 5.0. I'm winding up. Then we compared the obtained data for Russia and China. And by all means, we have room for improvement. As was already mentioned by the previous speakers, China is leader in digital development, a global leader. Therefore, this comparison, this kind of race to become a leader, this is a benchmarking which is important. And in summary, I wanted to say that before the beginning of the conference, I wanted to set a question in the new chat GPE, Open AI, and that was AI generated visualization of Industry 5.0. We obtained 4 pictures. This is the modern plant with a cobble and exchange of tools. This is a new industrial city, the city of the future, where people and robots walk around together. A photo of the new workplace with a researcher and a cupboard, which was described by Alexander Vasilyevich, who worked together on experiment. And the final picture is a global picture of the world, where you can see the symbols of innovation, robotics, and sustainability. Thank you for attention.